Let's just dive right in. Have you ever stopped and wondered what your faith is actually supposed to look like day to day? We talk a lot about belief, but what happens when that belief feels totally disconnected from how we live? What good is a faith that doesn't breathe or move or actually do anything? That's the huge tension we're going to unpack today.
And right out of the gate, the book of James in the Bible just throws down this massive challenge. It says, faith by itself is dead. I mean, wow, those are really strong words. It suggests that a faith that's just stuck in our heads or only in our hearts without ever showing up in the real world, well, it might not really be faith at all. So yeah, the stakes for what we believe are incredibly high.
So if we want a faith that's actually alive, where do we even start? Well, we have to go back to the source. Picture this. In a world totally cluttered with religious rules and rituals, a teacher of the law asks Jesus a really simple question. Out of all the hundreds of commands, which one is the most important?
And Jesus' answer was just stunningly simple. He took hundreds of laws and boiled them all down to these two inseparable ideas. First, love God with everything you've got, all of you. And second, love the people around you just as you love yourself. And notice, it's not one or the other. He links them together. They are two sides of the very same coin.
And when Jesus says to love God with all you have, he's talking about a holistic love. This isn't some partial Sunday morning kind of affection that we can just switch on and off. No, this is an all-in, total commitment, your feelings, your thoughts, your energy. It's meant to spill over and impact every single part of your life.
But here's the problem, right? There's often this huge gap between saying we have that kind of love and actually doing it. And this is where the writer James comes back into the picture, confronting this disconnect head-on and calling it exactly what it is, a dead faith. James gives this absolutely brutal, practical example to make his point. Imagine you see someone shivering and starving, and you say to them, "Hey, go in peace, I hope you get warm and find some food." But then you do absolutely nothing to help them. James just asks, what good is that? It's totally useless. It's a faith of empty words.
And this leads us to a really crucial truth. Real love, the kind of love that proves our faith is alive, it has to be tangible. It can't just be a theory or a nice feeling. It has to show up in the real world. And yeah, it almost always costs us something, our time, our comfort, or our money.
All right, so let's get practical. How do we start closing that gap between what we believe and what we do? Let's start with that first great commandment and turn it into a personal challenge for all of us. And this is a tough question, one we really have to ask ourselves. So be honest for a second. Is your love for God convenient? Do you only really engage with Him when it fits nicely into your schedule and doesn't ask too much of you? Too often we give God the leftovers. We might let Him into the spiritual rooms of our lives, but we keep our finances, our career goals, or our relationships behind locked doors. Well, that's not love. That's compartmentalization. He wants all of you, not just the polished-up, edited version we bring out on Sunday.
So here's a practical little heart audit you can do, like right now. First, just identify those off-limit areas. Is it your bank account, a grudge you're holding on to, your plans for the weekend? Second, make a conscious choice to invite Him into those spaces. And third, and this is the real challenge, surrender one of them. Not tomorrow, not next week, today.
And this flows perfectly into the second command because loving God with everything you have finds its ultimate proof right here. See, your love for God is really measured by how you love people. You just can't have one without the other. They're connected. Which brings us to another one of those critical self-check questions. When it comes to other people, is your love just a warm feeling, maybe a sense of pity or compassion that just stays inside you? Or does it actually become an action? Because real, living love isn't just sentimentality. It's not thinking, oh, that's sad, and then just scrolling past it on your phone. It's about getting off the couch, rolling up your sleeves, and actually getting your hands dirty to meet a tangible need. And here are some super concrete ways to put this into practice. Think of someone you kind of struggle to love, and find a way to serve them. Find one person this week with a real, tangible need, and meet it with action, not just well wishes. And the key, really, is to do something that actually costs you. Your time, your money, or your comfort. That's when you know it's real.
Okay, let's bring this all home, because this isn't just some nice idea for how to live a better life. The scriptures present this as the final measuring stick. This is what it all comes down to in the end.
So just take a moment and really think about this question. When it's all said and done, when your life is over,
What are the questions that will actually matter?
Well, I can tell you the final exam is not going to be about our religious resume. He's not going to ask about your perfect church attendance or how much theology you knew or how impressive your ministry looked to other people. Those things can be good, but they are not the main thing.
Instead, it all seems to boil down to two simple, profound questions. The very first one is this: did you love me with everything you had? Was it that holistic, all-in, no locked doors kind of love we talked about?
And immediately after that comes the second question, the one that really proves the answer to the first. Did you love people? In other words, was your love for God made real and tangible in the way you actually treated the people around you?
And that, right there, is the final crucial takeaway. Getting this, nodding your head along, even agreeing with everything, it's just not enough. The message is crystal clear. You have to live it. The real challenge is to move from just understanding it to actually doing it, starting right now.
Because in the end, when all the noise and all the activity of life just fades away, what truly remains? Faith, hope, and love. And we're left with this incredibly powerful reminder from the Apostle Paul: the greatest of these is love. It's not just a part of the story, it is the whole point.